is a 1997 Volkswagen Golf. The cheapest one in the country. I paid only 250 Australian dollars. And let's just say it's got some quirks. One being, it shares a lot with a Porsche. That being, it's air cooled. We'll get into that later. But this one is from 1997. It's a manual 1.8. For some reason a carby. Not sure about that.
Yeah.
As you expect with a $250 car, it does have its quirks. One being the fact it is air cooled. Now you can probably feel the temperature to your phone with this car because just driving it here is getting quite hot. But to be fair, these are quite reliable engines, and supposedly according to the dash, it only has 62,000 kilometers. But realistically, this is a good engine. It's a single cam, carbureted, 2 valves per cylinder, does the job, connected to a 5-speed manual, and it is exactly as you see it. This one, the only issue is it's got no water pump. The previous owner sold it to me. It was a complete coincidence. I didn't even mean to buy the car. I just sold the Mazdas, if you guys know. And here I have a third car. So it was on the side of the street, basically. I went to look at it with a mate. There was a mate selling it to a mate. Mate B didn't want mate A's car, so I bought it for 250 Australian dollars. He didn't want to go below 800, I didn't want to go above 250, so we settled in the middle. So I need a water pump, simple fix. It already comes with a water pump. The front brakes are rooted as well. Again, it comes with front brake pads. And as far as I know, that's about it. The window has a bit of a crack in it, but it actually goes quite well. I own a 1992 Ford Fairmont, and the interior is quite nice. I've also owned a 2002 Mazda. The interior was quite shit. This is a Volkswagen, and I actually like the interior quite a lot. Enough that it makes me want to keep it. I can't lie, I bought it with the intention of selling it right there. But as you can see, it's got a radio, which somehow works. I'm not going to play that because my 2 cents I'm going to earn from this video will get demonetized. It also has an AC, which works, and the heater that doesn't work because it's blocked off. Did that just do front and back at the same time? Oh no, it didn't. No, it didn't. Oh no, can you imagine?
That's slightly too optimistic.
Alright, turn it off please. This thing actually runs pretty well though. Like, oh fuck. Anyway, it's actually quite nice. It's a good space to be here. This feels like a metro train if you're from Melbourne or Sydney or anywhere in Australia. These seats remind me just of it. The comfort, the stains, even the pattern, all like a metro train, and I quite like it. I think after a good clean, this will come up pretty well. The reason I don't think it has 62,000 kilometers though, is if you look at the gear shift knob and the pedals, both are quite in rough condition. Same as the steering wheel. It looks just a bit rough. But everything else I think will clean up nicely. 1997 car, and the dash is immaculate. You know, you just don't see them. The back of the Volkswagen Golf. This is actually a not bad interior. I'm a 5'9" male. I believe that's a relatively fair height for a man. And this is at my driving space. This is exactly how I drive, and there's plenty of room. This thing is an absolute f***ing box. So if you get rear-ended, you're gonna really know about it. The last thing going through the passenger's mind is yours after you collide heads. But it's 1999, baby. No one gives a shit about safety. We paid $250. It does the job. It's got the same pattern in the interior. And you know what? I like it. And look at this. If you want to f*** missus and you don't have enough space, as long as she's not a fat pig, you can get her back here. There's a little hidden secret in there. Starts filming vertically. I just bought this car yesterday. I've probably spent a combined 1 hour in it. I always thought you had to put the key in this to unlock it. I just learned something. I'm just glad it stays open. Voila. Coming to the boot. This is where the hidden surprises are. Water pump. This was a $130 part. Front brake pads. Would you believe it? The thing's basically roadworthy. If you know a guy, let me know. It's got plenty of seats for all types of shit. One being the timing belt, which is quite an expensive job. And it's also got new tires 3 years ago, which is new enough to me. Being the CL, I don't know what that stands for, comfort luxury. It looks pretty cool to me. It's obviously a hatch. This is the Mark III, the 1996. I owned a Mark VI. Some weird reason, which I hope is not a fetish, I kind of like this more than my Mark VI. It looks pretty tough. Literally looks like a box. If you like boxes, check out my Volvo video. That was a box.
I like boxes.
Going down to the side of the car. I don't know if the comfort luxury CL whatever brings you alloys, but there's also drum brakes behind that, so maybe don't send it too hard, especially because I have 2 mils of brake pad at the front. But that's the next buyer's problem. Do you want to buy this car? $2.5 grand, or no? But other than that, it's actually a fairly straight car. I can't believe how straight it is. And the paint's actually immaculate. Just don't look up here or on that bonnet. I'm pretty happy with $250. You know, I sold the Mazda 323 for $700, and if you guys saw that car, it was munted. Another thing I like is this. This button does usually use as central locking. Oh! It has central locking. I think it's aftermarket when it works, but I think that's pretty cool as well. It's got everything you need. I would have happily dailied this thing if I didn't just sell my Mazda for rego costs, but at a 1.8 litre engine, 4-cylinder manual, I actually think this would be quite a fun car, especially with the alloys. It's actually not a bad car. I'd be guessing someone actually really looked after this, because 1997 cheap cars like this usually covered in trolley bangs, someone sent it, you know, something doesn't work or whatever, but this one is actually extremely clean, and it kind of makes me want to put it on the road and do the water pump. So if this video gets enough interest, I will do the water pump, but for now I think this is a perfect car to clean up, wet vacuum the interior, clean the exterior. Maybe I'll respray this bonnet as well, as the paint is kind of faded. But you know what, I think it's a very honest car. Please start a $250 car. First step, put your foot off the brake. Congratulations, you're driving. It's air cooled like a Porsche. If you want to drive this for more than 10 minutes, good luck, because it will overheat. Please buy my car. Okay, driving the Golf Mark III. And what a little thing this is. I love it. You know, it only makes 63 kilowatts of torque power. It only makes 63 kilowatts and probably 100 newtons of torque, but it goes totally fine. Like, it must be the Melbourne drivers, but for what it is, you know, in 4th gear, you're just going, put your foot down a bit, roll into it, runs just fine. Like, I don't really have an issue with it. It even handles okay, because it weighs nothing. I think these weigh like almost sub 1,000 kilos. So that's the reason with 62 kilowatts, it's totally fine. And if you want something economical, look no further. Like, this is literally a German, you know, Toyota Corolla. Like, it's a 1996, it's a hatch. It really does just get the job done. And this manual, like, you know, it doesn't feel great, but, you know, almost 30 years later, every gear is tight, goes into reverse just fine. Like, this one's a carburetor too, and I started it this morning, and it was a very cold day. First turnover, started right up, no drama at all. And because it weighs so little, you know, it actually gets really good fuel economy. This just being a 1.8 litre, it's more than enough. Single cam, carburetor. You're really going back to the basics with this car, and I think it has a lot of personality, surprisingly. Like, this little thing, you know, just, it goes all right. And, you know, down to 2nd gear, a bit of heel toe, around this tight corner, get on it a bit. It actually goes quite all right. Like, very surprisingly well, as that. I'm in a narrow street here, and this is the benefits of a little hatch like this. You know, it might not have any reverse sensors, but you're like in a little fish pond. So easy to see, just look out the window, into reverse, into first, you know, easy to drive. Getting on it a bit. It's really hard to break the law in this little thing, let me tell you. 62 kilowatts on it around the corner. What a fun little car. I'm doing 70 k's an hour, absolutely cruising, mate. Absolutely loves it. I love this little thing. It's like, it's just a true nugget, let me tell you, you know. Absolute true nugget. The manual gearbox is really good. It's got a cable clutch as well, but such a light clutch, doesn't have much to pull, you know. Piss. Like, this really just goes back to like that classic feeling, you know. If you jump in a Mark 7 Golf after this, just worlds apart. That's what I'll say, worlds apart. You know, this is a great around town car, a great first car. It's got the radio, got some AC. It reminds me of a German Mazda 323, and they're about the same price. Like, I paid $250 for this car, but you know, obviously it's not worth that little. And for like, say $2,000, you could buy one of these, maybe 3. I think you're getting a hell of a lot of car for that price, and they're really economical to own. You know, they're so cheap on fuel, and like, you can work on them yourself. everything's gonna work. The only thing is, being a German car, you know, things do break, but this has manual windows, manual mirrors. Fuck, it's even a manual. There's not much to go wrong electrically, which is supposedly what always goes wrong. This thing only has one center airbag as well, so there really just isn't much to go wrong, and it makes it easy to work on. And they're at absolute peak depreciation as well. LS3 right there, VF LS3. Fuck, that thing would just shit all over this. His injectors are probably worth more than this car. But yeah, I love this little thing, you know, very reliable. Quick, short drive today because there's no water pump. I've been driving for probably 20 minutes and we're now over, just now slightly overheating. You know, if you enjoy this stuff, let me know what you want me to see or what to do. And if you want me to continue uploading videos on this car, because I really enjoy working on these old nuggets. I love it. I absolutely love it.